Today, something a little bit different. We normally do travel videos. However, today, we are going to show you what you can be traveling in. This is the brand new 2021 GMC Denali, and this is a toy poodle. In this video, we'll compare the new Yukon with the outgoing model. What's new in 2021? What's the advantages? What's the difference of the Denali with the SLT and AT4? Should you do an XL? Do you really need a Denali? How does it compare with the Chevy Tahoe Suburban? We'll do MPG tests and compare it with its ratings. What is its real fuel efficiency? We are going to give you every imaginable camera angle to really familiarize yourself with this luxury SUV. We'll discuss driving, safety, convenience, and lighting, showing you what it looks like at night. We'll show you some things you probably haven't seen in other reviews. This is a review from an owner, not a salesman. From someone who has been driving the outgoing Yukon model. I know, so many choices. I spent months looking at every review, considering a Tahoe Suburban, a Ram, a F-150. I will hopefully answer some questions for you. We normally shoot travel videos across the USA, so you may want to subscribe to our channel for that and see how this Yukon does on road trips. Anyways, it's time to get back to nature. Open up that panoramic sunroof, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as we show you the 2021 GMC Yukon. We purchased our Yukon from Kelly Buick GMC in Bartow, located between Tampa and Orlando. My second vehicle buying from this dealership, and third vehicle buying from their salesman George, who was great. I have found them to be honest and good customer service. So if you're in Florida, check them out. Before we start a detailed tour of the plush interior, let's talk about the mechanics. So let's take a look underneath this baby. While the Yukon is completely redesigned in 2021, GMC brought back its popular 6.2-liter Ecotec V8, which is on the Denali, with 420 horsepower and 460 pounds of torque. On the SLT, SLE, and AT4 is the 5.3-liter Ecotec V8, giving 355 horsepower and 383 pounds of torque. Now, the main reason I went with the Denali is because of the 6.2-liter engine. It gives it that extra push you don't get with the 5.3. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Coming soon, available in all trims, will be a new Duramax 3-liter inline 6-turbo diesel engine. Standard on all trims is the 10-speed transmission co-designed with Ford, which was also in our 2019 model. After driving the 2016 and 2019 Yukon XL, the only difference in the 2019 model was this transmission, and it made about a 2 miles per gallon difference. However, in 2021, GMC has added a dynamic fuel management system, which instead of alternating between 4 or 8 cylinders, it now can deactivate from all 8 cylinders individually. Now, I saw all the hype from GMC about this new engine efficiency, but wondered why did the MPG actually drop slightly from the outgoing model? It really had me considering other options. You have the Ford Expedition or Lincoln Navigator that does have a better MPG, but the Ford is pretty outdated. I also considered the Dodge Ram 1500s. While their MPG ratings were listed slightly higher, the reality is they are lower. And being my old Yukon actually did better than the ratings, I wondered maybe that might be the case again. So we tested it. And guess what? After preliminary testings, it looks like it might be better than the ratings again. The 6.2-liter with 4-wheel drive is rated 14 city, 19 highway, and 16 combined. Now that is a mile below the outgoing model. We tested on a 50-mile trip, and because the vehicle is still in the breaking-in period, we were only averaging 63 miles per hour. On the trip out, we got 23.2 miles per gallon. Okay, so I thought maybe I had a tailwind. Let's test it on the return trip. And we got even better at 23.7 miles per gallon. Yeah, I know, who does 63 on the interstate? Certainly not me. But still, at 4.5 miles per gallon better than its highway rating, that's pretty good. A week later, we did another test, again 50 miles, driving at 70 miles per hour this time, and we got 22.8. Again, that's almost 4 miles better than its rating. And again, going both directions just to make sure we were not aided by a tailwind. And this is with a brand new engine, where the MPG tends to be lower until the engine really breaks in. By the way, with two-wheel drive, you can add a mile per gallon. Also, with the 5.3 liter engine, it is rated 16 city, 20 highway, and 18 combined. Now, one thing that I've seen some reviewers knock a little bit is the new push-pull gear shifter. But I'll tell you what, I love it. It works great, it's convenient, it's right here. You pull for drive, you push for park, you pull for reverse. You know, that may sound a little complicated, but you really get used to it. It's simple. They really put a lot of thought into this, and it works real good as we put it in drive right now. And I love it so much better than the column shifter, because with the column shifter, I would accidentally always slip it into low when I think I'm in drive. And nothing worse when you're pulling out on a busy highway and all of a sudden your engine revs and you're not going nowhere because you're in low, and oh, that was so frustrating. So I love this new push-pull gear shifter. They've done good with this. Something else improved is the turning radius. Many roads where I used to have to stop, put it in reverse when trying to make a U-turn, I don't have to now. It makes the turn easily, and the less that you have to stop and reverse on a busy road, the better. How does the Denali compare with the other trims? You get better MPG with the SLT, SLE, and AT4, 1 mile better on highway and 2 miles better city. We actually have the 20-inch wheels on the Denali. Normally that is on the other trims. The 22-inch wheels usually come with the Denali. I personally like the 20-inch better. I'd rather have more tire, less rim. But you might like the 22s. Also, the Denali has the dual tailpipes, as well as the Chevy High Country, not on the other Chevy trims or GMC trims. The big difference is the 10.2-inch infotainment system. Now, the actual system is the same on all trims, but it's just a difference of how it's placed in the dashboard. With the Denali, it is integrated with the other trims, as well as in the Tahoe and Suburban. It is in an iPad style, which I personally don't mind. It sits up higher in the dashboard, which I think can be an advantage, as well as being able to download apps. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and you can personalize so many convenience features, how the vehicle operates within the infotainment system. Very responsive, works great. The Denali does have more soft leather compared with the other trims. There is soft leather everywhere, and it feels good. Looks good. The Tahoes are actually a little bit more expensive than the Yukons, and I don't understand that, because even with the High Country Tahoe now, those are very nice trucks, but you're not getting as much soft leather as you do on the Yukon. On the SLT, the center console storage area is open, whereas on the Denali, you have nice sliding real wood coverings. The cup holders are bigger, so coffee mugs will fit into them now. Also, a wireless phone charger in the center console. In previous models where GM, I think, didn't do so well was in the seats, which is why I was looking at the Ram 1500. Ford and Dodge, I felt, had an advantage there. Not so today. The seats feel good, not only softer, but now with better lumbar support. An advantage with the Denali. That is going to feel nice on those 10-hour drives. All right, let's climb in the back seat. Now, on the Denali Ultimate package, they include the 12.6-inch rear screen media, and you can add it on the Denali Premium package. However, with a view like this, why in the world would you want to be watching TV? Let your kids learn something. The view is much better out there, up there, unless you want to watch the Tampa Aerial Media travel videos. In that case, go ahead and get the monitors. I don't know, what do you think? Is it worth around $10,000 more for the Denali? As well as a bigger, bolder grille, the new 2021 has a brand new panoramic sunroof. You can see the size difference on this shot compared with the outgoing model's sunroof. This is sweet. It has a button for the motorized shade, then another button to open the window. The nice panoramic sunroof gives you lots of light. You just feel easy, smooth. The steering feels responsive. Another question you may have is, do you need an XL? How does the Yukon do on storage? Maybe with the increased cargo capacity, the Yukon may be big enough for your needs. The 2021 Yukon actually has more cargo capacity than the old Yukon XL. The length of the Yukon is 6 inches longer than the previous Yukon. And while it is 14 inches shorter than the previous Yukon XL, it actually has more room. The total cargo volume is 122.9 cubic feet, compared with the old XL at 121.7 cubic feet. The cargo capacity on this is about 1 cubic foot bigger than the old XL. So even though it's not as long as the old XL, you actually have more cargo capacity in here than the old XL. So that's the specs, but how about real world capacity? I'm also a DJ, so I loaded up all my sound system, speakers, board, dolly, uplighting, and I still had plenty of room left over. So yes, it does have as much space as the old XL. That gives me just as much room, yet a vehicle that's slightly shorter makes it easier to navigate in your metro areas, where we often do as we film videos in a lot of metro areas around the country. So it's going to be nice having a little bit shorter of a vehicle, but yet still keeping that cargo capacity of the old XLs. Also plenty of room and storage within the front cabin. The center console is still big, but what I like is this tray helps keeps things a little better organized. A good area for change, storing wallet, checkbooks, important documents. Inside the center console, a USB, USB-C, and SD card slot. While you can't play media through the SD card slot, it has a factory SD card, which is necessary for the navigation. So you probably don't want to move it, and you just want to play your media through the USB or Bluetooth. And something important to us is external power, having to charge up drone and camera batteries and GoPros. There are now 2 110 outlets, one behind the center console and one in the rear cargo area, as well as a 12 volt in the front dashboard. The new Yukon has all the technology when it comes to safety features. New on the Yukon is a camera system which gives you 9 camera views. When you're backing up, you not only see what is behind you, but also what is on both sides of the vehicle. Just amazing clarity and resolution. As you shift, the camera automatically pops to the camera angle that is most useful for you. Also, the rear view mirror, with a flick of a switch, turns into a rear view camera. And you can adjust the brightness of the rear view camera, as well as zoom in or zoom out. Mirrors are significantly bigger than the other model. That's one thing I noticed right away jumping into this from the outgoing model. And that's really helpful because you can really see around your vehicle a lot better. Not only do you have the cameras, but you got that bigger mirror and it gives you more visibility. Helps make this bigger vehicle more manageable, and really the size doesn't seem like a big deal. You get used to it with the mirrors, all the safety features of it, the visibility. It's not a big deal driving this thing. As good as the camera and mirrors are on the Yukon, there are some things they can't see, and that is where blind spot alert comes in, notifying you with an amber light in your mirror of a car that is in your blind spot. Also, rear cross traffic alert uses side rear sensors to warn of approaching cross traffic. There's lane keep assist. If you start to veer into another lane without a turn signal, your seat vibrates and the steering will gently keep you back into your lane. On your driver information center, there is follow distance, where it actually calculates to the tenths of a second how close you are following another vehicle. There's your parking sensors both in the front and the rear that will beep as you get closer to an object. The 15-inch heads-up display helps the driver to keep their eyes on the road. Very useful for me as I'm farsighted. I can view the info on the heads-up display without glasses. Adaptive cruise control that will keep you at an adjustable distance from the vehicle in front of you. You can also now switch between adaptive and regular cruise control, something you couldn't do previously. This is great because while adaptive is nice, there are situations when you just want regular cruise control, a convenient thumb lever to easily adjust your cruise control speed. Adjust your follow distance. Heated steering wheel button on the right side of thumb dial has been added to allow you to easily scroll through all your vehicle analytics on the Driver Information Center, as well as seeing your oil life. Now it also shows your air filter life and brake pad life. I like that, as well as a host of other analytics to ensure proper maintenance so you keep your new Yukon running great for a long time. The traction control system helps limit wheel spin to maintain control on slippery road conditions. The hill descent control maintains vehicle speed while driving down steep grades. On four-wheel drive models, for further help in slippery environments, you can easily press auto, which allows the vehicle to automatically turn four-wheel drive on when you need it. The new auto start-stop system can be turned off or on. Auto start-stop feature, it works okay. I'm just not a big fan of it, but it works good. It's in the stop mode now, so we'll test it. And then here we go. So you see, it goes immediately, it works good. I'm not sure how much fuel that saves. The auto start stop will not work if the cabin temperature is not at the set level of the climate control. And in Florida, the AC is almost always on, keeping the cabin cool. So for much of the time, the auto start stop won't activate anyways. Now, I know car manufacturers will use fancy terms to sound all advanced, super tech. So when GM came out with magnetic ride control a few years ago, I said, yeah, okay, whatever. But I'm telling you, this does make a difference. It is a suspension technology that adapts and adjusts the shock absorbers in response to the terrain and dampens the shocks. And then on top of that, now it has the independent rear wheel suspension. And not only does that give you more cargo capacity, it also smooths out the ride as each wheel handles the bumps independently. And that's a noticeable difference. The 2021s come with full LED lighting. This provides a brighter light. Easier to see the shoulder. It casts a larger light pattern on the roadway, makes roadside markings clearer. Fog lamps now LED. As well as allowing the driver to see better, it makes this vehicle more visible to others. Parking lights added to the front wheel well. The rear lights now extend over the tailgate. When entering and exiting the vehicle, a light underneath the mirrors as well as a light along the running boards lights up the ground at night. The interior has lights in all three rows. The dash is pleasantly lit, also dimmable. I find that the overhead lights are less distractive when left on while driving. There is also a light underneath the front seats, lighting up the floor behind the front seats. Really useful to find things at night. Also, the USB ports are lit as well. And something great for me, even if you happen to leave a light on by mistake after parking, it eventually turns out so that you don't run your battery down. I have to say, this is really a smooth ride. And again, I've been driving Yukons for 4 years now, so I have that experience to compare with previous generations. We accelerate on the interstate now, and again, it's a very quiet ride. This is great for road trips. I can see how you can easily drive 9-10 hours a day in this vehicle and feel pretty comfortable. And then with the GM infotainment system, you got a lot to keep your mind occupied on those long trips. Now, the one knock I will give to the Yukon is the fuel capacity. The fuel tanks used to be 28 gallons in the Yukon and 31s in the Yukon XLs. Well, in the current Yukons, they are 24, and in the Yukon XLs, I think they're 28. That means you can only go about 450 miles between fill-ups, assuming you're getting 19 miles per gallon as it's rated on the highway. But again, as we did the test, we actually got a little bit more than that. So hopefully we can stretch that out to a little bit more than 450 miles between fill-ups. I had thought, I've been driving GM Chevy for a while. Maybe it might be nice to try something different. But after preliminary testing, I don't think there's a better full-size SUV on the road today. I couldn't take that risk going with another manufacturer. My trust level was higher with GM because of my experience with past Yukon Suburbans. While any vehicle will look great brand new, the real question is, how will this 5th generation Yukon do over time? How will it handle the rigors of day-to-day driving? I know it can be a risk to buy a new model, as there can be some unknown kinks to still work out. But I'm confident with this Yukon because the major working parts, the engine, the transmission, are carryovers. The kinks have already been worked out and now just tweaked with added efficiency. Only time will tell. So whether you are navigating congested city traffic or using it as a work truck in the country, I think you will love the 2021 GMC Yukon. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the Yukon. What do you think about the new model? If you would like us to film a car review for you, contact us at info@tampaaerialmedia.com. Coming up next, we take this Yukon to see the fall colors of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Thank you for watching this review of the 2021 GMC Yukon.